Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to WP Roundtable. We're trying to be fashionably late as always. I'm Jason Crawford, coming to you from Medellin, Colombia, and we've got a great guest on tonight that I'll let Kyle introduce when he gets around to it.
Hey, I'm Mark, and I have coffee. And beyond having coffee, I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm with ServerPress, and I'm really happy to be here tonight.
It's a good time for coffee.
It is.
I'm happy to be here as well. My name's Kyle, and I'm in Jackson, Michigan. Great city and a great state. And happy to have Mr. Caleb Burks here joining us as a support ninja at WooCommerce, working for Automattic now. Great guy. Super happy to be talking with him, and I've been looking forward to this. So, Caleb, thanks for joining us.
No problem.
All right. We've got a lot of questions for you, and we want to hear all about you and your fascinating career. Before we do that, we're going to dive into our quick picks of the week, where we just share something interesting with everybody that we think you should know about. My quick pick of the week, I already dropped on the Google Plus Hangout event. There's a link to it. It's on John James Jacoby's blog, jaco.b. That's jaco.by. Great blog. He wrote a post recently called Meet Stutter, a stutter with 3 T's. He's working on a new project where he's kind of producing like all these awesome WordPress plugins, and it's pretty awesome. He is known for pretty much creating legit stuff, and he's basically on fire, turning and burning as if he were 6 people instead of 1. So check it out, follow what he's doing, and wouldn't be surprised if you saw some of the plugins he's been producing is applicable to some of your upcoming projects. So there you go. You're welcome, world.
Thanks, Kyle. So I also have a blog post, not exactly not the Triple J blog or any of that stuff. But a nice blog post about the relevance of themes and page builders, and I'm not quite sure I agree with this guy entirely. However, it's very thought-provoking, very interesting, and I thought it would be worth sharing with all the page builders popping up left and right everywhere. Something to be considering with regards to the future of WordPress, and it is at brentjet.design, and then he's only got like 5 or 6 blog posts that I saw, maybe not. But anyways, there's a link in the show notes. I'd recommend checking it out. It's pretty decent blog post in short. I guess thought-provoking.
So, Caleb, do you have something to share?
Yeah. So just this last week, I was moving a site from live to local. And when you do a search and replace in the database, you lose a bunch of customizer settings and all that fun stuff, serialized arrays and all that. So there's a cool little handy tool that you drop in WP content and you can run, and it replaces your database stuff for you. I think I shared it correctly, maybe.
Yeah, I saw it. Awesome. Really cool. Okay, thanks for sharing. That's really awesome. So let's move into our questions and learn all about Caleb Burks. How's that sound?
We got to start with the opening question there, and that was, what did I have there, Caleb?
Where is this?
How do you feel about restrictions on your tech?
I think I know where that question's coming from. I don't like them at all. Not at all.
Okay, I just had to ask to make sure that we got it clear in case somebody read your article and did not catch it the first 5 times.
Yeah, just to make sure everyone knows that.
So was your article like 4 words long that just says "I don't like them," and that was the end of the article? Yeah.
4 times, yeah.
4 times.
One paragraph.
That's great.
Okay, so realistically, where did you begin? Where did you start as a young guy getting involved in computers and internet and all that good fancy stuff?
I mean, technically my first electronic type computer would have been an iPod Touch, actually. I had that long before I ever owned an actual computer. So I kind of made it into a computer, believe it or not. I had like SSH tunneling on it. I had a terminal, of course jailbroken and stuff, but it was pretty hacked up. So that was kind of like my entryway into tech. I found ways to make money with it. Yeah, it was interesting. But I would say an iPod Touch was my entry point into tech.
I'm curious what ways you found to make money with it.
So people are crazy and they spend money on like online iOS games that are just like touch and tap, right? And back then it was pretty simple to hack said games, and then you could sell said accounts. I'm sure some people did that, and hypothetically, if I did it, you could probably make some money as well.
All right. That's fascinating.
Is that on your resume?
It's not.
No.
However, the famous game of War that we've all seen previews for and stuff, I was actually the first person in the U.S. to download that app.
Whoa.
Yep, proud of that. Also one of the first to sell my account and make a ridiculous amount of money.
Man. Okay. So you've been really busy. Since you got that iPod Touch, you didn't waste
Yeah, right. It's a good thing I got into web development. Otherwise, I was probably going down like a black hat path. But yeah, WordPress is a good thing for me.
Because nobody ever uses WordPress for anything black hat.
No, definitely not. It's against the terms, right? No. No, I come across some interesting websites every once in a while.
I can imagine when you're doing support and someone says, I'm having trouble with my site.
When we say you can sell anything, people take that literally.
It's completely true. All right.
I don't even know where to take that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That was a little surprising, but awesome.
I love questions that lead to like self-incrimination, though. I like where this is going. This is all hypothetical. That's right, of course.
Right.
If I were to own an iPod Touch,
yeah,
back in the day, yeah.
So, like, how are you learning all this stuff? Did you have like nerd buddies? Was this like the cool thing to do?
I kind of made it the cool thing to do, I think.
Oh, so you were the influencer. You're corrupting other young people.
Yeah, I found like 2 other people that would get into jailbreaking and stuff. But yeah, I mostly taught myself how to make Cydia apps and stuff. I guess that was my first entry into programming. It was fun. Pretty worthless. But fun.
Yeah, we've all done lots of worthless things in the past, but now you're on to very, very productive things. That's what matters.
Yeah, always.
So, as you've graduated high school, I assume?
I have, yes.
Recently?
A year ago, yeah.
All right. And you're in college?
Maybe. To be determined.
Theoretically.
Hypothetically, I'm in college.
Hypothetically, yes.
No. So I did a year of college. I'm not sure what the future holds, but as of right now, I'm not in college.
So this isn't one of those you hope your parents aren't watching types of answers, is it? Like they think you're in college, but you've not been in college for like the last year?
Yeah, I'm going to remove that Twitter link to this podcast. No. Yeah, we'll see. I can go on about college. It's definitely important for lots of job types, like doctor. You want your doctor to go to college, right? But in terms of like computer science, I took a bunch of college classes in high school, so I'd actually be about 2 years into college. But you either get a professor that went to college a long time ago and is teaching what he learned a long time ago, in which case you get taught Flash in 2015, which is pretty sucky. Or you get a professor that's good and stays up to date, but he's teaching himself online, so I don't see why I can't just teach myself online and skip that middleman. It's kind of my theory on college.
Jason, can you relate to any of what Caleb's saying right now?
Every drop of it.
That's too funny. So you made the call on your own. You said I'm gonna pursue my own career, blaze my own path, and I know that I don't need this, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. In terms of computer science or web development in general, I would say definitely is the case. You can learn from college, and people make good arguments about you learn other things in college outside of the education aspect. But, yeah.
Sure. Well, we'll probably learn many great things in the workplace as well.
This is true.
So, great. Well, I have a lot of respect for that, actually, and I don't particularly have any problem with it, as a matter of fact.
I really don't have any problem with it because I did exactly the same thing, like 28 years ago or whatever it was. So I'm at the tail end. I'm looking at retirement now, but pretty much the same thing.
So what he's saying, Caleb, is that look at Mark.
You could be just like me.
That's where you're going.
If that's not an argument for college, I don't know what is. Your parents will thank me for that later, I'm sure.
Yeah, make note.
So I have a question here for you. Just are you the youngest person, the youngest ninja, or do you just look like the youngest ninja?
Pretty sure I'm the youngest.
Yeah.
I think I might be tied with someone at Automattic now. But yeah, definitely the youngest age.
Awesome. How does that feel? Is that weird to you a little bit?
It's a little strange. I get asked things a lot, like the college question, pretty much every time.
Oh.
No, you're good. It's fun. I guess it holds a lot more opportunities than anything.
Sure. Well, you're surrounded by a lot of smart people, and I think that's always a wise thing to do is put yourself in a position where you're surrounded by a lot of great talent and experience and skill, and you can only go up.
People a lot smarter than me.
Well, so what else did you do? What did you do before WooKings? Did you have any other jobs? Did you do any freelance work? Make money in any way?
Most started freelancing. Went into more of like a contracting, which is still technically freelancing. And then I had one job, not two jobs. One I did computer repair, but that was when I was like, I don't know, 13 maybe. So computer repair, and then a bunch of freelancing, then contracting. And then I had one job in college that was terrible, which made me make the jump to applying at Woo.
And what was the job?
I was a local web firm. The people were nice, but they were doing things very old. So there was no version control, or it was renaming your folder. Everything was static HTML built in Dreamweaver. And it was really unsatisfactory work.
Somehow you perceived that this isn't really the future.
Yeah, I was aware. Yeah, it was bad. So actually, that's how I got into Woo. Actually, I didn't want a full-time job when in college last year. I thought that'd be too much on my plate, so I decided to take the part-time job at the local web place. Well, they reached out to me somehow. I'm not sure how that worked out, but I said yes. I kind of went for my interview, but it ended up being like a celebration party. So I never had an interview. It was just like a you're hired thing. So I kind of never made the decision to work there. But anyway, it happened somehow. And then I realized that I was spending like 40 minutes or something shuttling between the two places. And it ended up being from like as soon as I got out of classes at lunch to after dinner. So I was like missing both meals, which was really terrible. And then the work was pretty unsatisfactory. So I realized that I might as well just apply at Woo. I'm already spending like 6.5 hours a day at work. So it only made sense.
Jeez.
Previously, I was planning on applying at Woo and Automattic and a few other places right after college, but I kind of skipped the line.
How did they even get on your radar?
I think the college gave them my information. I think they asked the college and the college sent them to me.
Well, I mean, like WordPress companies.
What do you mean?
Like Woo and Automattic.
Oh, I was aware of both of those because I was doing WordPress development on the side the whole time.
Okay.
Well, that kind of leads me into one question I had about your freelance work. What kind of sites were you designing, and how did that go?
So I'm terrible at design. You don't want me to design anything. I realized like when I really took off with my freelance career, it was when I realized that I could just develop designs, like get the design and then develop it. That's what I enjoyed. Custom theming was really fun. So I had two firms that I contracted with, and they would just send me the design, and I would send them back a theme. That was pretty much the extent of it. It ranged and varied between random websites, I guess.
So no, nothing especially exciting or interesting, nor especially traumatic or horrible?
Interesting, I'm not sure, but I did have an interesting in a bad way one time. I got contacted and they told me everything they needed for the project, and I was thinking it out, and I had plugins and it was ready. I could make the functionality work. And it was rentagent.com or something like that. And I immediately jumped to thinking it's about real estate and hiring a real estate agent and stuff like that. So I had the proposal, I accepted the project, and got pretty far into it until they sent me their design packet. And then I realized that their logo was rentagent.com. So that was an awkward time in a project that I didn't finish. Yeah. That's not so proud of that one. They never warned me. In my It was an interesting surprise.
Only interesting, huh?
Yeah. Rent agent. Just know that's not real estate.
And that's Caleb's pick of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Rentagent.com.
I don't know if that's the exact address. I don't want to Google it.
Well, if it's not the exact address, someone needs to register that domain, don't they?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, I didn't finish the website, so someone else would have had to. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, it was rentagent.me. Not that you should Google it, but hypothetically, that is definitely the logo they sent me.
See, now I got it. See.
Sorry.
I need to make sure there are no kids behind me, but...
It's, oh boy. Yeah, leaving.
Nice work.
Yeah. So I saw that logo right off the bat, and I was like, snap. Not what I thought it was.
That's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. Well, okay.
All right, I guess that wraps up tonight's show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to go anymore without laughing through the rest of the
The life of freelancing holds surprises.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Darn right. So, okay. Well, we got to move on. We really do. Somehow. Did you like doing freelance work?
I did. It was cool to say you're your own boss, and pretty much the sky's the limit when you're freelancing, right? You can take on as much work as you want to. That was a cool aspect of things. Pretty much you just get to learn at your own pace and go about it like that.
Right.
How did you promote your freelance work? How did you get the jobs that you were getting?
I started on Craigslist, actually. You have to filter through some weirdness, like Rent-A-Gent. But I built a pretty good client base through that, and then pretty much referrals after having a few clients, and it took off. Looking back, I was a really cheap freelancer, which is why I probably never got denied a project, and why people probably recommended me all the time, and also why I needed a part-time job. But yeah, it was totally worth it. I mean, I wasn't that old, and to a 14-year-old, $100 is a lot, I guess, if you look at it like that.
Right.
So does anybody else have anything before we move into like WooCommerce?
Well, I think that Rent-A-Gent basically finishes up with the Nightmare project. So
Yeah.
I mean, how do you top that?
You can't.
I don't know.
So yeah, Caleb, how did you get into WooCommerce?
I mean, previously, before working at Woo, I only did one WooCommerce project. That was just kind of like my go-to e-commerce solution. Like I advertised I could do it, but I only got to do it one time. Then when I applied, I obviously spent a lot more time in it, pre getting hired, and pretty much every day in it post getting hired.
And what do you do at WooCommerce now?
I'm a support ninja. So for the most part, answering support tickets. So I'll log in and do all my replies from past day tickets. Then I'll grab a bunch of new ones. And about halfway through the workday, I'll usually switch to focus on fixing bugs and navigating GitHub stuff.
Now, in a given day, do you have like a certain number of tickets you try to get through, or is it just do what you can?
It's do what you can, because it varies. Like you can get a ticket that my license isn't activating, which takes like 5 seconds, or you can get a ticket with like a serious bug, or some weird server configuration, and the iOS app won't work, and those can take like a lot of time. So it varies. You can't really set a certain number, I guess.
Right. Are you? Is there any like? Are you pretty fast in terms of closing tickets?
Yeah, I try to be.
Yeah.
I get a pretty good number done, I would say.
So nobody's like, hey, that Burks, he's holding us up. He needs to wait.
No, we are hiring though. We get. I guess WooCommerce expanded really fast, and they've been trying to fill a lot of roles recently.
Yeah.
But we're trying to hire a lot more people, so that'll be nice when there's more of us doing them, because there's a lot of tickets.
Sure.
Do you like doing the support part, or are you like planning to move into like other areas of working for Woo? And I know that's kind of a tricky question to answer because you never want to say you don't like doing support, but
Yeah.
you know.
Actually both. Definitely both. Support is fun because you stay up to date with current issues. You get ideas for plugins and snippets and stuff like that, which I actually just started a blog for. Finally got around to it. So I actually love support because you get to learn at your own pace, right? So I'm only responsible for the support side of things. So anything I do on the outside, like fixing bugs and stuff, is totally on me. So I get to learn at my own pace in that regards. But in the future, I'm probably moving towards dev, but I don't know when exactly or no set timeline. Because I like where I'm at. You get to learn and develop freely outside of work.
So as a ninja, do you get belts?
Do I get what?
Belts, like a white belt, a blue belt, a green belt.
No, we don't. We should though.
They're all black belts. They're all black
okay.
belts.
Yeah, you have to be a black belt to get hired. That's what it is.
Awesome. So walk us through your typical day, Caleb?
Oh, I don't think I have a typical day. So I've been experimenting with like weird sleep cycles recently. There's like different polyphasic sleep cycles. And I've been doing I'm trying to do the everyman sleep cycle now, which is like 3 hours of sleep and then 3 20-minute naps spread out evenly throughout 24 hours, which is really hard because my job hasn't required me to ever set an alarm. So having alarms is kind of sucky. But whenever I decide to wake up, I'll be online with like different groups of people, like South Africans sometimes, depending on my sleep schedule, or normal Americans other times. And I'll just log in. I'll do all my open tickets, which is the ones that I've done in the past. Those are usually the tough ones. When they come back, it means it's a real issue generally. So I'll go through those, like 15 to 20 of those, usually every morning. Then I'll take a bunch of new ones. and I'll be done for the day in regards of tickets, and I'll just go about in GitHub, like I said, or doing whatever other random thing. Recently, I've been working on a cool project. Yeah, I guess I can say. We're redoing the swag store for WordPress and moving it to WooCommerce. So that's been a fun project on the side.
Nice.
Yep. Should be ready soon.
And you get to help out with that?
Yes. It was one of our projects at the Grand Meetup.
That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. We should talk about that. We just placed an order from the swag store for a few things that we gave away as door prizes at our WordCamp this past weekend.
It'll be a much more cool process soon.
Very exciting.
And there was just something wrong about putting WooCommerce swag on a Shopify store. It just couldn't be done. So we had to switch.
Yeah, I'll agree with you there. That's not right.
No, there's a crime somewhere.
So what are some of like the biggest challenges that you're facing with your role, or that you encounter day to day that just like maybe frustrate you, or maybe wish you could overcome more easily, or the real struggles?
So I mean, let's see. I guess just the fact that every installation of WooCommerce is completely different in the .org world, right? So you have different servers, which can be a pain. You have different themes, mostly Avada out there, which conflicts with everything. You have different plugins that are messing stuff up. So it's not a sandbox. It's like lots of different elements and stuff. And so I guess the frustrating part is when you got to figure out why their server is denying a certain request or has a weird caching mechanism or something like that. My job would be a lot more easier if it was in a sandbox, I guess. But it's not. And it's fun. You learn new stuff every day, for sure.
Interesting. How long have you been working at WooCommerce?
Since February. So,
okay.
What is that? 10 months? 9 months?
Something like that. Awesome. So, not a long time, but you've already probably been seeing some growth and some changes. You were around before the Automattic acquisition took place.
Yep.
I'm sure you probably asked a lot, but we'd love to hear you talk us through how that experience was and what happened. What was it like?
That was an interesting time, to put it in the least. I woke up one morning and I just logged in and I read a P2 post, and Marc was reading or like looking out at the past of Woo themes, like when it began, what their goal was, and that kind of thing. And I thought that seemed odd, right? That means something big's about to get announced. It's a long P2 post and he's kind of being sentimental. So I kept reading, and then like halfway through it just says, "That's why we decided to join Automattic." And that was kind of just like, I paused there for like a few minutes and I was like, what? Hold on. And so I went to Slack, and it was true. Everyone was talking about it. So that was a pretty crazy day to get the news that was going to happen. It was also really hard not to tell anybody. Like, that was tough. But yeah, we got the news in a few weeks, like a week later. It actually happened. But nothing really changed. Like, people always ask what changed and stuff. I read a post about a guy. It was kind of like in jest talking about how in the traditional workforce, an acquisition in the past would have meant like families having to move, and you have to move to the new location and stuff like that. But in the remote workforce, it just is the matter of moving Slack rooms. That was kind of what his article was about. And I think it was mostly in jest, but it was very much so true. Like, for the first few weeks of the acquisition, all that changed was our Slack room name. We just moved Slack. That was pretty cool. Everything else we did was very similar to how Automattic ran things. Our team structure, the way we communicate through Slack and P2s, pretty much everything was mirrored after Automattic, it seemed like. So the transition was super smooth, and still is being super smooth.
there anything significant that feels different about everything now, and then maybe just having a lot more coworkers?
Yeah, it's just a lot bigger scale, I guess. It's cool though. So we just got back from the Graham meetup, and it was cool to see, like, they announced what everyone's working on and some things coming in the future. It was really cool to see, like, everything that's happening, like a lot of stuff. So it's nice. I like the big company aspect. It's hard to meet that many people. We have a cool tool that marks how many people we've met. Like, you mark them when you meet them. And I only did like 56% or something. But I felt like I was meeting like 100 people every day. So I tried.
Awesome.
So in general, really, you haven't seen any impact to your work specifically?
No, not at all. Like on the WooCommerce side of that's not true. So my day-to-day work hasn't changed at all, but we have a lot more, almost like triple the amount of developers working on WooCommerce, which means bugs get fixed a lot faster, enhancements and features are coming out like crazy. So that's changed, and that's a really nice change.
How many ninjas are there now? Support ninjas?
Oh,
Do you know?
4, 8, 12. That's about. So like 15. We just had a meetup in Canada, and I want to say like 15.
15, and do you know how much that's grown since you started there?
So I was in the last hiring burst that they made in February.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had to freeze hires because of acquisition talks. So we're just now starting to get back into people coming in on trial and hopefully getting hired soon. Which means if you're listening, you should definitely apply right now.
Have you found that that since the acquisition by Automattic that the workload as far as support tickets has gone up, or do you think it's gone down because of the increase in the number of developers able to handle the bug reports and whatnot?
It's gone up, but I think solely because of just the user base growing.
Yeah. So it outweighed the number of bug reports essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see the chart of tickets coming in, and by year it just continues to rise. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And it's a very good thing, I guess. Means over 30% of all e-commerce stores are using WooCommerce, which is really cool.
Is that 30% of all e-commerce stores or all WordPress e-commerce stores? Do you know?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, there's other platforms. I know we hate to admit it, but there are other platforms besides WordPress out there that actually have e-commerce capabilities.
Okay, yeah.
And so when you say 30%, is that I don't know.
That's just WooCommerce. So a higher percent would be WordPress e-commerce.
Okay. I think I get it.
I mean,
I'm not as smart as you, so.
Nah, that's according to Built With stats. So
I see.
Take that as you will.
Cool.
Well, I think it's definitely going to have an impact knowing that it's connected to Automattic and WordPress core in one way or another. So I think I would imagine a lot of people are switching to WooCommerce. I know I've never personally used WooCommerce, but if I'm going to definitely have to consider it with my anytime I do another commerce platform and reconsider that. So.
Yeah, I think it helps in terms of people's perception of stability on it. I would say that changed in a good way.
Yeah. The last time I did anything with WooCommerce was in my developer days, which was well over 2 years ago. So I'm sure WooCommerce has changed a bit since then, and hopefully is a little bit more intuitive than it used to be.
Yeah, it's a 2.4 was a big makeover, I guess you could say, and 2.3. A lot has changed.
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly functional, but you had to kind of really poke around to make it work the way you wanted to back. I don't know. It was probably may have even been 3 years ago for all I know. It was a while ago though. So.
Yeah. So a main focus recently has been onboarding actually. And if you install it on a new site now, you'll notice a really cool onboarding wizard that takes you through 5 steps, like full screen 5 steps of setting it up real fast. But the goal is obviously to make it simpler, right? So remove settings that aren't necessary or simplify settings, that kind of thing. And I feel like it's a lot easier to set up a store now. You don't really have to go through setting panel after setting panel to configure. It's all kind of the way it should be, and then you change it if you need it to be changed, kind of thing. So yeah, you can set up I could sell something in like 10 minutes. Download storefront, install WooCommerce, etc.
Cool.
So it's been cool that onboarding's been a focus recently.
Yeah. So going back just a little bit, I think I met you the first time in Chicago WordCamp last year. So
that was my first WordCamp. So yeah.
That was your first WordCamp, and I think that was when I met you. And so you were not with WooCommerce at that point in time, then?
Nope. I would have just been freelancing.
You were just freelancing. Okay. I'm trying to put it all in it because then I think I saw you in San Diego and you were magically with WooCommerce.
Yeah, San Diego was my first one with WooCommerce.
Okay, so cool. Wow, my old memory is better than I thought it was. So, but I had remembered seeing you there and thinking, oh, he's with Woo, and I didn't realize that you were with Woo, and I thought, well, that maybe I just didn't realize it back in Chicago, but that wasn't the case. So.
Nope.
I'm just trying.
Your memory is good.
Yeah, cool. Well, I can go to bed happy tonight now. I remember that. So,
oh, go ahead, Mark.
Oh, go ahead, Jason.
Well, I was just gonna say. So, since we brought it up, do you want to talk about maybe how you got involved in WordCamp, your first WordCamp, and what brought you to it?
Sure. So, Andrew Weichel, a fellow WooCommerce ninja, first introduced me to WordPress, actually, in like 6th grade. I wanted to build a website. I don't remember the case. I think for jailbreaking tips and hacking on an iPod. That was it. So I was like looking at website builders, and I was playing around with like Wix and Weebly and all of those. And he suggested WordPress, so that was like when I first kind of dived into it. Kind of skyrocketed off from there when I realized what all you could do with it, and that I could make money with it, and no longer needed my iPod tactics. Yeah.
But your first WordCamp, where was it, and how'd you get there? What brought
Chicago. Andrew Weichel said, hey, I'm going to this. It's about WordPress. And I was like, sure, I'll go. And it was pretty overwhelming, like, to see. It was cool to see like a bunch of people that I've seen online, big names, I guess you could say. It's cool to see the community. I guess that's what I kind of fell in love with about WordPress, was to see the community around it at that first WordCamp, and then shortly followed Milwaukee.
Right, and of course Milwaukee was way more awesome than Chicago. That goes without saying, but
yeah, this year's Milwaukee was way more awesome than this year's Chicago.
Fair enough. Jason, Chicago didn't have a WordCamp this year, just so you're brought in on that little joke there. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
There's always next year, as Chicago likes to say.
They say that about their football team. They can say it about their WordCamps too.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind if I ever decide to go someplace where it snows again.
Yeah. So, Caleb, have you done any speaking yet?
Yeah.
Any of the WordCamps?
Let's see. Milwaukee last year. Or no, this year's Milwaukee. I spoke 3 times at WordCamp Columbus, which was my first time speaking. That was a lot.
Wow.
I don't remember. What else is over there?
I saw one where you did in Chicago, I think.
No, I don't think I didn't speak at Chicago. I would have if we have had it. I've done a few meetup talks.
And what's your favorite subject to talk about when you do your is it just WooCommerce, or do you?
Usually I sign up for something WooCommerce related. Kind of makes sense too. But I still enjoy theme development on the side. So that was a fun talk to give. I enjoyed that one. Also, what was the other one? I did a talk on contributing to WordPress via the theme review team. That was fun as well.
Cool.
And that was in Columbus, right?
Yes.
That's the one I was thinking of. I don't know why I thought Chicago.
Well, we've been talking about Chicago, so you probably went down that path.
It's all way up there in cold land to me.
Do you find that you like WordCamps better as like being there as a sponsor or as a speaker or just as a spectator?
I like speaking. One is good though. 3 times is a lot.
Yeah.
Speaking's fun. As a sponsor, it's also fun because you get to a lot of customers come up to you, and it's funny when they recognize you from your little picture. Like, hey, you helped me with a support ticket. That's a weird connection. But that's also fun. Both, just being at a WordCamp in general, even if you're just spectating, is fun. You meet people no matter what, and you can reconnect with old friends. It's fun.
Do you remember like when people come up to you and they say, "Hey, you helped me with it"? Do you actually remember any of them, or
actually, I do a lot of times.
Yeah.
I'll have to get their name and then what it was about. But as long as it was something different, I'll remember.
Cool.
So outside of WordCamps, is there any other community around where you are as far as meetups or anything like that?
Well, there's 3 of us in Rockford. Andrew Weichel, who I work with, and one other person. So we don't have a meetup. We're thinking about starting one and trying to get more involvement. That's to be determined. If you drive an hour to Chicago, then you get a pretty big meetup. Naperville has a big one as well, which is like an hour. And then me and Andrew just started a WooCommerce meetup in Chicago. And so that's just getting going. And that's been fun. So we got to drive a little ways, but there is involvement.
Mm-hmm. That's great. How do you like organizing a meetup?
He did most of the work. I kind of did nothing.
Okay.
To be fair. Show up.
So who would you say in the community like inspires you?
Ooh. I think a lot of people. All those that are always contributing to WordPress is pretty inspiring. I mean, not like they're getting paid for it or anything. Let's see. Planning a WordCamp, I know is probably a ton of work. Kyle can probably attest to that. And they don't get paid for that either. So there's the people that give a lot of their time, which is valuable time they could be making money with, and instead give it back to WordPress and contribute to the community. I guess that's pretty inspiring. Really inspiring.
But not any one individual or 10 individuals that kind of like, man, when I grow up, I want to be just like him or her.
I don't have a list. I can name a few people. I don't want to leave anyone out though.
No, I don't think they'd be offended.
Yeah. Let's see.
They'd be offended if they're on this podcast and not mentioned.
True. Let's see. No. I mean, start at the top. I guess I always wanted to meet Matt. That's something I finally checked off of my bucket list last week. That was cool. It was actually reversed. I was supposed to meet him and then work for him. But those roles got reversed pretty swiftly. That was interesting. But yeah, so I finally met him. That's cool. JJJ is a good friend. Someone that does a lot for the WordPress community. It's hard to name names.
Yeah.
All right, I won't push you too much harder on that. Then.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
There are a lot of really great people in the community, so I get where you're coming from on that.
Yeah.
All the people.
All the people, yeah.
That's
every one of them. There's not a single bad person in the whole WordPress community.
No.
Okay, name the bad people in the No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There's this guy that travels for ServerPress, and he's really weird. He's always like,
hey, look, Greg isn't on the show, so you shouldn't be talking about him like that.
Too funny. Are there other ways that you'd like to get involved in the future that maybe, just things you haven't done yet, like contribute to this or that, or organize this or that, or visit, or do something? You're like, that, I got to do it one of these days.
In terms of contributing to WordPress?
Yeah.
So I did do my first core patch not long ago, which was really cool to like see props on the welcome screen and stuff. But I definitely in the future I want to have more of that. More contributing to WordPress core itself would be cool, and that's a goal that I've set for myself. I've done a few to WooCommerce, but more contribution to that as well would be nice. 2 future goals.
It's pretty good. What kind of things are on your schedule for the future? Events you plan on attending locally or otherwise?
I have New York, WordCamp New York, coming up this weekend.
Great.
That should be fun. After that, there's WordCamp US that I'll be at in Philadelphia. I have to look at my flights to get all of them. Those are the next 2. I can only keep track of 2 things at a time. I don't know what's after that.
Are there people that you recommend that we have as featured guests on the show?
Asking him to name names again.
Yeah, evil.
Just who would you tune into?
I guess I could give a shout out to Andrew since he introduced me to WordPress.
Okay.
Let's see what else. I'll get back to you with the list on that.
Okay. Thanks.
So I'm kind of interested in knowing a little bit about what you do outside of WordPress. What kind of hobbies and stuff do you have?
I like soccer. Soccer's fun, like as an actual physical hobby. Outside of work is actually, unfortunately, probably still WordPress related. Just plugin development, taking some courses and stuff on programming, doing fun stuff like that. I do some work for a non-for-profit in their website. Still WordPress related.
Yeah.
So a lot of WordPress.
You mentioned going to Canada for a group meetup there, didn't you?
Yes. So we had all the WooCommerce Support Ninjas meet up in Canada like 3-4 weeks ago, which was really cool. I got to meet a lot of them for the first time. We spent a week. We'd work some in the morning and then pretty much have fun in the afternoon. That was a really fun week. Lots of interesting things happened. We also did a... Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask if you've done any more traveling work related.
So there was Utah last week, 2 weeks ago. The Grand Meetup, which is the whole company, which is super overwhelmingly crazy and fun. Those are the only 2 work-related ones that have happened. Soon here we have WooConf coming up in Texas. That'll be work-related, I guess.
Does everybody try to go to that?
I think it's going to be mostly North America ninjas this year, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Cool. Texas.
What? Just curious, how many? I know we talked about how many ninjas you have. What percentage of them are North American? I wonder.
Oh, let me check. I would say there's a pretty good split, but most of us are North American. We have a map somewhere. Let's see. Someone's in. I'll just go with the out-of-country people. Someone in Thailand. No, that was a bad idea. No, I won't do that. Where's that page? Teams. Team. Hey, the map still exists. Oh, that's all of us though, not just support.
Oh, you can tweet out about it later.
Let's do that.
Yeah, you've got a list of things to tweet out, so we're giving you homework.
That's right. This is the show that keeps on giving or asking or something like that.
And this is why you will lose 5 Twitter followers for appearing on the show.
Bummer.
Most people regret coming in.
No one told me this beforehand. I'm being told like Reddit.
Well, if you had Googled the show before you came on, you would have seen it. So
I watched the
you didn't
show.
do your homework.
I watched the show.
But you didn't
What's
Google
our
it.
tagline? We don't hide that.
I was actually recognized this weekend for this show. It really
No
surprised me. A lady I've never seen before in my life came up to me and said, "I recognize you from your podcast." And I was like, "No way! Are you serious?"
And did she ask for your autograph or anything like that?
No. I was really busy at the time, so I didn't get to talk to her. I was getting pulled in all directions.
So you were acting like a celebrity, is what you're saying.
He's like, I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for this.
I wanted to talk to her more about it, but it was like it was in the morning, and that was just a blur. It was all craziness.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So lightning round, we're coming pretty close here to the timeline.
Sure.
Hit it.
What do we got?
Lightning.
About questions we should have asked but didn't.
That's a question for me.
Yep.
I don't know. There's a lot of questions. I think they all got asked.
What's your favorite color gummy bear?
Oh, green, for sure.
Okay.
All right. I like this one. Fill in the blank, because I love how you love filling in blanks here. My job is great and all, but I really wish people would pay me for is...
Oh, that's tough. I get paid to have fun every day, though, so I'm not sure I could fill in that blank.
See, you could say something like, I wish people would pay me to wake up when my alarm goes off.
But see, I would never get paid. I tried. I messed up my everyman sleep cycle today. I was supposed to take a 20-minute nap, but it turned into 4 hours. I hit snooze a lot. So yeah, me and alarms don't go well together.
So then you wish people would pay you to hit the snooze button.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
There you go. See.
Oh yeah, I'd be rich.
You're making some of these questions seem hard.
Movies, favorite movies. So what would you watch after the show?
Lord of the Rings, definitely at the top. Probably gonna watch through Star Wars here soon, given its craze recently.
Yeah.
Those are my top two.
And how did you celebrate Back to the Future Day?
I watched them, well, kind of, on the side.
Yeah.
I let them play through as I did work.
Oh, no.
Awesome. Way cool. So nothing really obscure.
No. What do you plan on dressing up for as Halloween?
Wait, what?
Reverse question.
I'm dressing up for as Halloween.
I think I'm going to be a sexy podcaster.
There's a costume for that?
For Kyle, it would be more than a costume.
I'm going to be... The work camp is the day of Halloween in New York, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm expecting a lot of interesting costumes for that.
Gosh.
I'm going to dress as the coolest dad on planet Earth.
What?
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
It's
Just a normal outfit then.
pretty much, yeah.
No big deal.
No biggie.
So creative. You inspire me, Mark.
Oh, well, thank you. I could also be a sexy podcaster, I suppose.
Yeah.
You could match.
No.
Now, do you guys need like a full poster board if you're going to dress up as me, or can you just figure it out for the show?
You went there.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So, never mind. I won't say it.
Yeah. I feel like we're slipping and sliding down into...
Yeah.
Into the after show already, and we haven't stopped broadcasting?
Yeah.
Yeah. So about Rent-A-Gent. No, I'm just kidding.
That's after you turn off the live button.
Oh, please, please. Our viewers. Think of our viewers.
That's where Kyle's gonna go to get ideas about being a sexy podcaster. You work it.
Yeah.
All right. So there have been things that I cannot unsee or unhear from this episode.
All right.
Well, there's definitely some truth to that. Although I might have to go check out that website again. It was pretty entertaining.
No.
I might even apply to work for them.
Oh, they might need a web developer. I kind of.
I don't know.
I want to be the guy holding up the table.
Now you're gonna tempt our viewers into checking out this site.
Yeah. Don't check it out.
Just
Don't
don't.
get this at home. Disclosure.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh boy.
Well, Caleb, thanks for joining us. We're running a little bit behind. We started a little bit late, but here we are. You guys got anything else before we sign out here?
Oh gosh, no.
No.
Yeah, so Caleb, thanks for joining us, man, and look forward to watching what you got going on in the future.
Cool.
Thanks, Caleb.
You're the best, Caleb.